more volunteers. You know, I work at 2 different schools, and we could use more volunteers at each of those schools. And, you know, maybe you don't want to volunteer. Maybe you want to provide snack. You want to show up and just do that. Man, kids love visitors. They just love people loving on them. I mean, I see that with my own kids. You know, I bring them up here, and they get loved differently than they do at home, and they love that. And to have more clubs, you know, we have a couple of elementary schools that need people in them, but again, we need more volunteers. That would be great.
One thing I would like to see change, like my daughter's waiting so long to get there. So if y'all had like first, second, third, that's it. Everything else y'all doing is great. Everything is great. I have no complaints. I never had a complaint.
I think for me, my biggest change would see more students come out, especially those students who profess to know the Lord. I know that there's more. I know we have a big group at RCS that participates every Tuesday morning at Equip, but I know there are students who want to live out their faith and have Jesus, and you know, I'm just wondering, where are they? I want them to come. That would be my biggest change, is I'd like to rally up more believers, more kids. You know, my son's a junior in high school, and just to see the other kids his age and high school, middle school students really come out and be a part of club would be great to me. So it's not really, I guess, a change in the ministry, but a change in students realizing there's this group here that will support me in my walk with Christ and encourage me on a weekly basis. And I would just like to see, if I could change one thing, I would like to see more kids come.
I don't know that I would want anything to change, except for the community to be more aware and actually to get the word out to other communities, because I've told people at work about it and they say, oh, well, I wish we had one of these in our town. So I think it's wonderful how God has taken a small town and started the vision in a couple, and it's just grown. And from what I understand, My Life Matters clubs have just expanded in middle schools, elementaries, and high schools, so much so that there's tons of kids and not enough workers.
I don't think My Life Matters is offered at all elementary schools yet, so I think that's one thing that I would like to see happen, just because I think it's such a positive impact on all of these kids, some that may never hear of Jesus otherwise. So I just really hope that it's able to get out to all the elementary schools in our county.
One thing that stands out to me is, I believe it was at the beginning of the year last year when they had the opening meeting, and I stepped in and Amy was saying something about, let's go tell everyone about Jesus. And she was trying to get everybody all pumped up, and we had one little 6th grader that got so excited, and he just threw his arms up in the air and said, yes! And he was so excited to be going out and sharing that about Jesus and telling people about him.
When my oldest son was in middle school, we homeschooled him. And he struggled with being homeschooled and feeling different. And Mark, who works with the middle schoolers, he really stepped into a spot in Peyton's life and one-on-one did a Bible study with him and talked about what it means to follow God and to let go of anger, and just he took time out of his work day to spend with Peyton to show him the love of Christ. And that really touched me and my husband, because not many people do that, and even too with Brett, he will say, leave Kylie, bring me Aiden. And so they're always willing to pour into my kids.
This summer when the kids had camp, Kayla and Carson were apart, and it was just really neat how Stephanie Bowen had led them. They were able to give their testimony of what God was doing in their lives, and things that they were struggling with, and then how God was working in their lives. So Kayla came to our house, and she told her story, and that just really blessed my heart.
Now we're working through the life of Jesus, and it's been awesome for me to see the storyline of Jesus' life. I've known it probably most of my life, but to go back and to really go back over that has meant something to me. And then, you know, one day William said to me, you know, Mom, I've never thought of it that way. And although we've been teaching him his whole life about the birth of Jesus or Jesus being baptized, there was something that they talked about in their group that morning at Equip that meant something to him. He saw it in a different light. My son is in Avery Dalton's group, and it's been a blessing. Avery is a mess if you don't know him, and he's a great guy to get to know. But for William, he's really enjoyed the camaraderie they have within their group. And this week, in fact, there was something that he couldn't wait to get to Equip to tell Avery about and to talk to Avery about. So that's encouraging to me. I think as a leader at Equip, it's just, our job is just to be an extra example to those kids, an extra cheerleader in their life, to just somebody to listen to them and see them out and encourage them in their daily walk with Christ. And I'm seeing that happen in the life of my son, especially this year, just a connection he has with his leader, and I'm thankful for that.
It was this year. I was going in the room, it was too quiet, and my kids are loud. So I walk in my room, and I didn't even bust in the door, I just opened it slightly. And Anaya and Jay had their hands together with the Bible in front of them, kneeling on the bed. And it like to brought a tear to my eye. So I got quietly closed the door. I ran back to my wife, I said, you ain't gonna believe what I just seen. My daughter, she's the firecracker. You'll know next year, she's a firecracker. She was in the bathroom. So when I went back in the second time, I said, when your sister come in here, make her join you. I said, because that's a beautiful thing. And for me not to tell them to do it, my wife not to tell them to do it, I mean kneeling, hands together with the pink Bible that y'all gave them. And like you see, getting a little watery now, it was awesome. It was awesome. And they made me put more gas in my car to drive closer to the Lord. So that's when I really started putting my heart into this, and like, it's an awesome thing, man. God is good all the time.